everyone. In this class, we are going to learn factors affecting SN1 and SN2 mechanism. If you have not watched the videos of SN1 and SN2 mechanism, you watch those videos first. The link is there in the description box. Now, the first factor that is going to influence SN1 and SN2 mechanism is the nature of substrate. Now, in SN2 mechanism, you know that the penta-coordinated transition state is formed, and in SN1 mechanism, you have the formation of intermediate, which is carbocation. So now let us first talk about SN2 mechanism. In case of SN2 mechanism, we have the formation of penta-coordinate transition state, which looks something like this. Imagine that there is a carbon at the center and say for example there are 3 hydrogens present over here, and this is the leaving group and this is the nucleophile that is going to attack. So now what is going to happen in the transition state is the nucleophile will attack from the back side, and after attacking from the back side, the leaving group will leave. But both the processes will take place simultaneously. The moment the older bond is broken, at the same time the new bond is formed. So therefore we have a transition state which looks like this, which is penta-coordinate. So now let us draw this transition state. So this Nu over here is the nucleophile and L is the leaving group. So now what are we going to do is, let us start making these groups bulky. These hydrogens present over here are not included in bulky groups, but anything apart from hydrogen and fluorine are bulky groups. So now let us replace one of the hydrogen by say methyl group, but instead of methyl you can replace it by any other group. But right now, just to understand this, let us replace one of the hydrogen by methyl group. So let us replace this hydrogen first. So instead of this hydrogen I have written CH3, everything else will remain same. Then we will replace one more hydrogen by CH3 group. So now this hydrogen is also replaced by CH3, everything else is same. And now let us replace the last hydrogen by CH3 group. Observe this substrate that we have taken over here has to be a primary substrate, because this carbon is attached to one more carbon atom. So this has to be a primary substrate. This should be this carbon over here has to be a secondary carbon. And this is the tertiary carbon, where the central carbon is attached to 3 more carbon atoms. So basically we have written different substrates. This is methyl group, then primary, secondary and tertiary substrates containing primary, secondary and tertiary carbon atoms. Now out of these, according to you, which of the reaction will be easier? What happens in SN2 mechanism, there is a backside attack. Imagine this to be our original substrate. Now, at the end of these green colored bonds, there are only hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen present, and the nucleophile is going to attack from the back side. So, if only hydrogens are present, which are not bulky groups, then it is easier for the nucleophile to attack from back side. So, don't you feel that if we have this substrate where only hydrogens are attached to this carbon, or in other words, we can say if we have a substrate which is nothing but methyl halide, then it is going to be easier for the nucleophile to attack from the back side. So therefore we can say that out of these, the reactivity of this methyl halide will be maximum. Now let us assume that out of these three hydrogen atoms, let us replace this hydrogen atom by methyl group. So instead of hydrogen, we have one carbon and 3 more hydrogens. So here we have CH3. So now this part becomes bulkier than the previous example. So it will become little difficult for the nucleophile to attack because we have got one bulky group over here. Okay, which is nothing but this structure. We have one bulky group over here. So it is little difficult for the nucleophile to attack. Then instead of only one, let us have two bulky groups like this. This is also a bulky group, this is also a bulky group, and this is hydrogen, exactly like this. So don't you feel that it will be more difficult for the nucleophile to attack this central carbon atom over here? Then in the last case where we have tertiary carbon atom, in the tertiary carbon atom, all three groups are bulky groups over here. Okay, this and this, all three groups bulky groups. In this case, we have taken methyl groups. So again, attack of the nucleophile is again more difficult than the previous example. So now don't you feel as we go from primary to secondary and secondary to tertiary carbon atom, it is becoming more and more difficult for the nucleophile to attack. So therefore, we can write the order of nucleophile like this. The maximum reactivity is methyl halide and minimum reactivity is tertiary halide. Now let us assume that the same reaction is taking place with SN1 mechanism. Now in SN1 mechanism, the leaving group will leave first. In the first step, which is the slow step, leaving group will leave first, and in the second step, the nucleophile is going to attack. But out of the two steps, the first step is the slow step, so rate of the reaction will depend on the first step, which is breaking of the C and halogen, C halide bond. So now in the middle of this reaction, we get formation of the intermediate, which is nothing but carbocation, which has got a geometry like this, planar geometry, carbon, and three different groups attached over here. So now again let us take the same examples. But here in SN2 mechanism we had pentacoordinate transition state, but here we will have a simple carbocation. The planar structure, again we will do the same thing. We will start making one group as bulky groups. We will replace one hydrogen by another bulky group, let us say CH3 group. And we will keep both the hydrogens as it is. Then we will replace this hydrogen also by a bulky group, CH3 group. And in the last example, we will replace the last hydrogen also by a bulky group. So this is our methyl carbocation. This is a primary carbocation. Then this becomes the secondary carbocation because this carbon is attached to two more carbon atoms. This is the secondary carbocation. And the last one is a tertiary carbocation. Now, what happens over here? The attack can take place from front side as well as from back side. The geometry of this is nothing but planar like this. So, both the sides are free to attack. So, now even if we replace these groups or atoms by a bulky group, it is not going to affect much, because anyway the rate of reaction depends on the first step, and in the second step nucleophile is attacking the carbocation. So even if we replace this by bulky group, the attack of nucleophile will not affect much. But still, we all have studied that tertiary carbocation is the most stable. In 11th standard we have studied that stability of tertiary carbocation is greater than the secondary, greater than primary, and greater than methyl carbocation. Now, there is one more effect over here. These CH3 groups are nothing but electron donating groups, or we can say that they are showing plus I effect. So, due to presence of this CH3 methyl group, the electrons present in this bond will be slightly pushed towards the carbon atom over here. इसी को हम लोग बोलते हैं plus I effect. Now here we have 2 CH3, so और भी ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन पुश हो गए, यहाँ के बॉन्ड के भी पुश हो गए, और दूसरे वाले बॉन्ड के भी they will be pushed towards the central carbon atom. Same thing will happen here. But now we have got 3 CH3 groups, तो उससे भी ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कार्बन की तरफ पुश हो जाएंगे. So if we observe here, we have in case of primary carbocation, we have only one group which is showing plus I effect, but in case of tertiary, we have 3 groups which is showing plus I effect. So therefore, this carbocation is the most stable carbocation due to 2 reasons. First is due to plus I effect shown by methyl or any other alkyl group, and the second reason is hyperconjugation. So because of all these, tertiary carbon is most stable. So if the tertiary carbon is most stable, then there are chances that there will be a formation of tertiary carbon. अगर हमें ऐसा वाला कार्बोकैटायन बनाना है, मिथाइल कार्बोकैटायन बनाना है और रिएक्शन करना है, उससे अच्छा वो क्या करेगा, SN2 मैकेनिज्म ले लेगा, बिकॉज ये जो कार्बोकैटायन इधर बनेगा वो स्टेबल ही नहीं होगा, मिथाइल कार्बोकैटायन. सो इसीलिए वो क्या करेगा, इंस्टेड ऑफ फॉर्मिंग अ कार्बोकैटायन, इट विल प्रिफर गोइंग वाया SN2 मैकेनिज्म, जहां पे बैक साइड अटैक है, एंड बैक साइड अटैक इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल बिकॉज दीज 3 हाइड्रोजन्स आर not so bulky groups. But in case of tertiary carbocation, you can apply your logic now. tertiary कोई भी tertiary carbocation SN2 mechanism prefer करेगा क्या, नहीं करेगा, because SN2 mechanism में back side attack होता है. अगर back side के तीनों भी ग्रुप अगर bulky ग्रुप है तो ऐसा वाला रिएक्शन करना डिफिकल्ट है. इसीलिए the tertiary substrate अगर होता है, so it will prefer to go by SN1 mechanism where there is a formation of tertiary carbocation. So in case of SN1 mechanism, we can write the order of reactivity like this. Now let us compare both of them together. Methyl X, then primary alkyl halide, secondary and tertiary alkyl halide. So when you go from CH3X to tertiary alkyl halide like this, what is going to happen is, the chances of SN1 mechanism taking place will increase. SN1 का चांसेस बढ़ेगा बिकॉज टर्शरी सबस्ट्रेट का सबसे ज्यादा पॉसिबिलिटी है SN1 मैकेनिज्म फॉलो करने का. बट अगर मिथाइल सबस्ट्रेट है, मिथाइल ग्रुप वाला सबस्ट्रेट सबस्ट्रेट है तो उसका सबसे कम पॉसिबिलिटी है कि वो SN1 मैकेनिज्म फॉलो करेगा, बिकॉज उसका कार्बोकैटायन स्टेबल ही नहीं है. सो एज यू गो फ्रॉम मिथाइल हैलाइड टू टर्शरी अल्काइल हैलाइड, the chances of SN1 reaction goes on increasing. बट अगर वही हम उल्टा आएंगे और वही अगर हम SN2 मैकेनिज्म का सोचेंगे तो CH3X का मतलब मिथाइल हैलाइड का सबसे ज्यादा चांसेस है कि वो SN2 मैकेनिज्म फॉलो करेगा. क्यों करेगा? तीनों भी नॉन बल्की ग्रुप है, इसीलिए बैक साइड अटैक इजीली पॉसिबल है. सो एज यू मूव अदर वे अराउंड, टर्शरी टू सेकेंडरी, सेकेंडरी टू प्राइमरी, primary to methyl halide, in such cases chances of SN2 mechanism increases. Now there is one more factor on which the mechanism of the reaction depends, or reactivity of the substrate depends upon. So now this is nothing but the leaving group. So here we may have 4 leaving groups, we may have fluoride, we may have chloride, bromide or iodide. Now it is your homework to think ये चारों में से सबसे ज्यादा अच्छा leaving group कौन सा है, वो सोचना, ये तुम्हारा homework. The next factor influencing SN1 and SN2 mechanism is nucleophilicity of the reagent. The occurrence of SN1 and SN2 mechanism depends upon the nature of the nucleophile. That means if the nucleophile is strong, it may have one of these mechanisms, and if it is weak, then it may have one of these mechanisms. So let us understand how it is going to influence SN1 and SN2 mechanism. What exactly happens in the nucleophilic substitution reaction is the halogen or the leaving group is replaced by a nucleophile like this. This is the halogen, which is the leaving group, and nucleophile is electron rich species, so of course it will have more electrons, it is going to be rich in electrons, so it will use its electron to attack the carbon atom, it will use its electron to form a bond with carbon atom. So therefore, this leaving group or this halogen will be replaced by a nucleophile. Now, if the reaction takes place by SN2 mechanism, we all know that there is a formation of penta-coordinate transition state like this. Some groups attached to it. The bond between nucleophile and carbon is about to form, and the bond between carbon and the leaving group is about to break. And the rate of such reaction is directly proportional to concentration of alkyl halide or the concentration of substrate and the concentration of nucleophile. This is how we used to write now. Rate is equal to K into concentration of CH3Br into concentration of OH minus. उसी का मतलब है rate is equal to K times CH3Br is nothing but alkyl halide and OH minus is the nucleophile. So rate depends upon concentration of alkyl halide as well as on the concentration of nucleophile. Now according to SN1 mechanism, we have a formation of carbocation which is planar, which has got geometry, trigonal planar, and rate of the reaction depends only, the rate of the reaction depends only on the concentration of Rx, that is the substrate or alkyl halide. और ये वाले इक्वेशन में OH माइनस और न्यूक्लियोफाइल कहीं आता ही नहीं है. इट मीन्स द रेट ऑफ द रिएक्शन इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ न्यूक्लियोफाइल. वो कम हो ज्यादा हो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. Now based on this the nucleophilicity of the reagent will affect SN1 and SN2 mechanism. Now imagine that if the nucleophile is a strong nucleophile, if the nucleophile is a strong, it will be more reactive and it will try to react immediately. So what it is going to do is it is going to follow SN2 mechanism, because SN2 mechanism के rate equation में nucleophile का presence जरूरी है, उसका concentration भी जरूरी है. वो कम हो तो रेट भी कम होगा, न्यूक्लियोफाइल का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ज्यादा होगा तो रेट भी ज्यादा होगा. तो अगर कोई भी रिएक्टिव न्यूक्लियोफाइल है तो फटाक से वो जल्दी जल्दी रिएक्ट हो जाएगा, और अगर वो जल्दी जल्दी रिएक्ट होगा तो वो SN2 मैकेनिज्म फॉलो करेगा, बिकॉज SN2 मैकेनिज्म में ही न्यूक्लियोफाइल अटैक्स द कार्बन एटम एंड ब्रेकिंग एंड मेकिंग ऑफ द बॉन्ड takes place simultaneously. So if nucleophile is a stronger nucleophile, if nucleophile is a strong nucleophile, it will prefer SN2 mechanism. But if a nucleophile is a weak nucleophile, it will not be so reactive. उसका रिएक्शन बहुत जल्दी जल्दी नहीं होगा, उसके लिए टाइम लगेगा. So what will weak electrophile do? वो रुकेगा कि ऐसा वाला कार्बोकैटायन फॉर्म हो. पहले वाले स्टेप में जो स्लो स्टेप है उसमें वो इतना देर तक रुकेगा कि कार्बोकैटायन फॉर्म हो जाए, और कार्बोकैटायन फॉर्म होने के बाद द वीक न्यूक्लियोफाइल विल अटैक दी कार्बन एटम, बिकॉज कभी भी कार्बोकैटायन पे अटैक करना ज्यादा इजी है ऐसे वाले सबस्ट्रेट पे अटैक करने से. सो इसीलिए द वीक न्यूक्लियोफाइल इज गोइंग टू वेट टिल देयर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कार्बोकैटायन, एंड आफ्टर द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज ओवर न्यूक्लियोफाइल विल अटैक दिस. एंड एनीवे इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू अफेक्ट. अगर न्यूक्लियोफाइल वीक है या फिर उसका कॉन्सेंट्रेशन कम है या फिर उसका रिएक्शन ज्यादा फास्ट नहीं होता, फर्क हम लोग को कुछ पड़ने वाला है क्या? नहीं, बिकॉज रेट ऑफ SN1 रिएक्शन डिपेंड्स ओनली ऑन द कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ RX. ओके, इसके इधर हम लोग ने किधर न्यूक्लियोफाइल लिखा ही नहीं है. दैट मीन्स रेट इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ न्यूक्लियोफाइल. सो ऐसे केसेस में अगर न्यूक्लियोफाइल वीक भी होगा तो भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. So therefore, if the nucleophile is a weak nucleophile, it will prefer SN1 mechanism. The third factor influencing SN1 and SN2 mechanism is polarity of solvent. Understand what happens in SN1 mechanism. In SN1 mechanism, there is a formation of carbocation like this. There is a formation of carbocation and nucleophile is going to attack from both the sides. The rate of the reaction depends only on the first step, which is the slow step, or we can say rate of the reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of substrate. Now, since there is a formation of carbocation, there is positive charge, so there has to be something to balance that positive charge. So therefore, if the solvent that we are using for the reaction, if that solvent is a polar protic solvent, then SN1 mechanism will be favored. Now what do you mean by polar protic? Polar means those who have polarity, that means those who have partial positive and negative charges. The example is water. Now you all know that oxygen is more electronegative as compared to hydrogen. So therefore the oxygen will pull the electron towards itself, and since it pulls the electrons towards itself, oxygen carries partial negative charge and both the hydrogens will carry partial positive charges. Now polar protic means the solvents which are polar, which have got positive and negative charges in it, and which are protic. Protic means those who contain proton, those who contain hydrogen. So such solvents are called as polar protic solvents. Now why these polar protic solvents favor SN1 mechanism? The first reason, there is a positive charge. So to balance that positive charge, we require some negative charge, and this negative charge is present over here. Imagine that the solvent used over here is non-polar, मतलब जिसमें ऐसा positive negative charge है ही नहीं. तो अगर ऐसा कोई charge है ही नहीं, तो ये वाला positive charge balance कैसे होगा? So that is the reason we require polar solvent, and on top of that we are taking protic. We are taking the solvents which contain hydrogen, because if hydrogen is present, polar protic मतलब क्या? ऐसे वाले solvents जिसका ऑक्सीजन हाइड्रोजन का बॉन्ड है, नाइट्रोजन हाइड्रोजन का बॉन्ड है, या फिर फ्लोरीन हाइड्रोजन का बॉन्ड है. एग्जाम्पल लाइक H2O, NH3 एंड HF. बस मैंने समझाने के लिए ऐसे एग्जाम्पल लिखा है. और वी कैन से these are the solvents which show hydrogen bonds. अगर ऐसा वाला हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स बन जाता है अपने सबस्ट्रेट या फिर इंटरमीडिएट और सॉल्वेंट के बीच, देन ऐसे वाला रिएक्शन और ऐसा वाला इंटरमीडिएट और ज्यादा स्टेबल होगा, तो उसका रिएक्शन होने का चांसेस और उसका प्रेजेंस होने का चांसेस बढ़ेगा. और अगर उसका प्रेजेंस का चांसेस बढ़ेगा तो वो रिएक्शन फेवर हो जाएगा. सो देयरफॉर SN1, if the solvent is polar protic solvent, then it will favor the SN1 mechanism. But for SN2 mechanism, this is our penta coordinate transition state, and rate of the reaction depends upon the concentration of substrate and concentration of nucleophile. Now imagine अगर ऐसा वाला कोई भी solvent जो polar protic solvent है, इसको हमने ये वाले reaction में use करने का कोशिश किया. Now we have a nucleophile which is going to attack. Nucleophile is electron rich species, so of course it is going to have some extra electrons. And अगर ऐसा वाला कोई solvent हम use करेंगे, तो this nucleophile will say get attracted to such solvent. ये दोनों के बीच there has to be some interaction between the nucleophile and polar protic, because polar protic solvents can easily form hydrogen bonds and they also have partial positive charges. So there has to be some interaction. और अगर ऐसा कुछ interaction हो जाता है तो nucleophile का concentration will be reduced, and if the concentration of the nucleophile is reduced, the rate of the reaction will also be reduced. So therefore we cannot use such solvents for SN1 mechanism. In other words, we can say that polar protic solvents are not going to favor SN2 mechanism. They can be used only in SN1 mechanism. So what can we use over here? We can use these solvents which are which have got low polarity, वाले यूज कर सकते हैं, एंड ऐसे वाले सॉल्वेंट्स दोज हु आर एप्रोटिक सॉल्वेंट्स. That means those who are unable to form hydrogen bonds. So let us quickly revise everything. The first factor influencing SN1 and SN2 mechanism was nature of the substrate. So now you all know that if the substrate is substrate is methyl or primary substrate, then it is going to favor SN2 mechanism. If it is a tertiary substrate, it will form a stable tertiary carbocation and it will favor SN1 mechanism. Then the second factor was nucleophilicity. If the nucleophile is strong, it will favor SN2 mechanism. If it is weak, it will favor SN1 mechanism. Then lastly, the nature of the solvent. If the nature of the solvent is aprotic or it is less polar, then it is going to favor SN2 mechanism. If it is a protic solvent, polar protic solvent, then it is going to favor SN1 mechanism. So this was all about factors influencing SN1 and SN2 mechanism. Thank you so much for watching.